Hey guys, it's Krystal Lee Moore here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore, and this is Realtor Life. I'm so happy you're here. This is a fun and entertaining look at life in the trenches as a real estate professional in Ontario. Let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about perseverance, obstacles, and getting in the right room. So, what does that mean? Well, I think we all know what perseverance means, but what does it mean as an entrepreneur or a realtor? So, when we're looking at perseverance, it really is not giving up. And it sounds so simple, but the thing is, you don't really need to dig into it until you need it. Like when things are going really well, you might be like, "Oh, like I'm persevering and I'm getting everything done and I'm skipping sleep and I'm eating in my car." None of those are good. But what I mean is perseverance when things just are not coming together. You need to hang on, like cling on to your goals and your dreams because it just feels like you just need a win. My husband says that sometimes you just need a win. And it's so hard because as entrepreneurs, the idea of perseverance can be so daunting, but also it's very simple. And it really comes down to putting one foot in front of the other day after day and making sure that you're paying attention. So when Tony Robbins talks about the 4 steps to success, you need to know what you want, you need to take action, you have to notice if your action is actually working, and then you have to change your approach. But all of that requires perseverance. You have to keep going. You can't just sort of try once and then give it up. And so that perseverance, really, I think, in my opinion and in my experience, is the difference between people that succeed and people that do not succeed. We had a lot of people join the real estate industry, or a lot of people throughout my time. I think I'm about 15 years as an entrepreneur, and I would see all these people like join and they'd start this and they'd start that and they'd start this and they'd start that. And then it just didn't work, and then they'd leave. And that's okay. If you are not in the right spot and you leave, there's no shame in that. But there's also, it could be that you just need to hang on a bit longer and change your approach, do it a little bit differently. One of the things that I've been very focused on as of late is looking at what are your unique gifts. So, what are my unique gifts? And how to find those out. And then what has worked in the past. And so, Brian Buffini says, like, I did it before, I can do it again. But you need a formula for that, right? So, Hal Elrod said that, like, you can't just say, this is it. You need to actually have steps. And so step one to that is figuring out what are your unique gifts. What, first of all, what makes you the happiest? What is that? Like you're doing it and you're like, this is my jam. I'm so good. I'm confident. It's amazing. What is that? Number two, what do people around you appreciate most about you? And so this was a tough one for me because I am such an achievement-aholic. As it turns out, 0 people in my world were like, you know what really, really gets us so happy is all the achievements. We appreciate all of the very long email signature that you force us to read every time you send us an email. No, what they say is they love my positivity and my energy and my joy and my happiness, all of which goes down if I'm super stressed out trying to achieve more than is necessary. And I'm not to say like I also love achievement. So as long as you're doing it for the right reason, but I just realized I have to really bring my A game with the people around me, clients, friends, network, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that ray of sunshine that I love being. They're not looking for someone who's all stressed out because how is she going to do a term paper and 2 exams and lead a workshop and do a workout. Like that's not great. Like if that's what I do to make me happy, fantastic. But why, that's not why I'm here. Right. So like let's just that's kind of like digging through that. And then the other part is to go through all of your last, my coach actually just suggested go through the last 5 years. Um, and that's a good exercise, especially post-COVID, because we do want to look at when things were a bit more normal, but you go and see where did those clients come from? And what was that experience like? And so when we're looking at perseverance, if you have a bus bench, we've said this before, if you have a bus bench and none of your clients, like zero of your clients, even noticed it or came from that bus bench for 5 years, or 1 year, why do you have it? And if you have it because it's kind of cool, people are like, hey, hey, there's my face. That's okay. Be honest about it, but it's not getting you any business. Versus maybe you held a really cool event for your clients and they were able to invite friends. And because of that, you got referrals. That's fun. So it's kind of like lean into where did you get the clients, follow that trail back, and then you have your own unique formula for how to get more clients. And that's, again, same thing if you are anyone in business, where are those coming from? If they're coming from internet leads, go for it. But it really comes down to relationships. So where are you able to build the best relationships? So that's perseverance. So then we have setbacks and momentum. So I run a really cool group of ladies. We started last year, and this is just whether you're a lady or a man right now, it still counts. But we started it because we were going through kind of life changes together, and we were getting really frustrated because it was like it seemed to be there was no one really that understood. And then we found this group of like 10 people and they all understood. So it was like, aha. But what we were talking about as we're going through one of the things with this group, it's like a goal accountability group. And we'll be on a great track. Like we'll just be checking along, and then all of a sudden something happens. So you get sick, you get the flu. This is what happened with one of the girls, or you have to go for away for work and you just can't do it. You can't figure it out when it comes down to like the um going to the gym at the hotel. It's just not working. So then you get back and all of a sudden your routine is off. So this happens with realtors or entrepreneurs. You might go on vacation. It's really hard to get back. I think the other thing that separates the successful person from the not successful person is your rebound rate. How quickly can you pivot back? So, yeah, you have the momentum, it breaks. Can you get back on or at least build it back again? I think you can. What sometimes people do is they'll use that as an excuse, though, and they'll say, well, I had like 10 days in a row and then I didn't do it anymore, and now it's just done. And that's okay. If that's you, that's great. But then I think you're robbing yourself personally because you can just say, okay, I did 10. Let's see if I can do 11. Boom, did 11. Now 12 and just keep going. Um, Again, I like achieving things, but I think we all like achieving things. And so wouldn't that be cool if you didn't let it throw you off? This happened like vacation has always been a tough one for me. So my coach actually has me prep for the return before I leave for the vacation, which is so like it's such a genius idea, but so like outside of where I was ever thinking. But then all of a sudden you know what you're doing before and you know what you're doing after, and then you can just enjoy yourself on your vacation. It's actually very liberating. So then with momentum, so when we're looking, so I did this, I'm doing this Realtor Life 30-day challenge. If you have seen it, I hope you get to do it. It all stemmed from the fact that I didn't want to go outside because it was cold. And then I called myself out on being a huge baby and thought, you know what? I'm going to do a 30-minute walk outside every day, even when it's minus 17. And I'm going to listen to a really great podcast. And so far, day 6, I'm listening to really great podcasts and reminding myself, getting reminded of all these great people like Hal Elrod and Mel Robbins. And it's just like it's just like a party up in my brain. Um, so today I was listening to Andy Andrews and he was talking about sweating the small things or not sweating the small things. And like the thing is like when you're doing this momentum, you have to remember the big picture. So I'm doing 30 minutes a day. Okay, 30 minutes outside walking a day. It's somewhere between 2.5 and 3 kilometers every day. And that's not that much if you're like a walker or a runner, because usually people are doing like 5Ks, but 2.5 kilometers a day, it's like 7.5, no, 12.5. Let's all watch me do math. Um, to five, yeah, 12.5 kilometers a week. That's pretty cool. And that's just walking. And it also ends up being like 3.5 hours of listening to amazing podcasts. So, and I will say, like, it depends. You could listen to an audiobook as well. What I'm doing with the podcast is I'm actually sharing the link on this challenge. And the reason for that is just that I find sometimes we get like this analysis paralysis where it's kind of like when you're trying to scroll Netflix and all of a sudden you're like, it's been an hour. Like, what am I doing? Um, I'm just picking them. So you don't have to worry about it. They're all great things. They're things that I think are good for everyone. If it's not your jam, you just pick a different one, whatever. The point is you're doing it and you're putting in great stuff every day. And then I'm also reading 10 pages of a business book every day. And I fell off of that. I was doing it for so long and I was doing so well. And then I think I started reading a book that it wasn't a bad book. It just didn't vibe, like I didn't vibe with the book. And so I kind of fell off of that wagon. But I'm reading Public Speaking for Success because I really want to lean more into my public speaking and being able to kind of be my best self on stage. Because I find what happens to me when I'm on stage or in front of a larger group, the confidence thing doesn't come into it, but for whatever reason, I'm not able to be me as much as I am like a chill narrator. And so I'm working on that. But whatever it is that you're looking to do, I think Hal Elrod said that in his podcast. He was like, if you don't know how to do something, you could read a book and learn how to do it. Um, like, yeah, for example, like this thing has me writing a 3-minute speech, 20 pages in. So I think it's going to be an exciting book. But you can, whatever it is, if you want to learn how to do anything, you can read books, you can study it, you can go to a course, you can do whatever you want, and it's amazing. So then we go into getting into the room. So this is kind of, again, from a podcast. So Mel Robbins was talking about how to meet friends and how to meet friends like in a new town. You actually go into different places that they might be. So people that you would want to spend time with and kind of connect with. She talks about coffee shops. Like there are 4 types of coffee shops that you could go to meet the types of people that might frequent those shops. And definitely worth a listen. I think it's called Where Do My Friends Go? That's what it's called. But the link is also in, I want to say day 4 of my 30-day challenge. Um, but you can also go to the places where people either that you want to emulate or people that you want to work with might hang out. So, for example, in London, we have like the London Club, and we also have the Chamber of Commerce. We have different events, and with Buffini, we can go to conferences, and those like all the people in that room are going to share at least some basic tenets of what what I believe in and what I'm looking to do, especially with the personal growth and the service and the giving back. You can go and be on committees for charity. You can sponsor things where people might have like a like interest. You can play sports, you can do golf, like whatever it is. There are rooms where you can get into where you could actually better yourself and your relationships, but also you could better someone else's life. You could help, you could become a mentor. So someone could mentor you, you could mentor them. It really is a full circle. So this is going to be a shorter episode of Realtor Life today. We talked about perseverance, setbacks, momentum, and getting in the room. If you would like to be interviewed on Realtor Life, we'd love to have you. And if you have a topic that you would really love to have us research or anything, let me know. I'm always happy to help. It is such a pleasure to be able to do this. My name is Krystal Lee Moore Lucier, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore. This is Realtor Life. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.